Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time once again with Sudoku Sleuth. And today, and you can see it really in the thumbnail today, we are looking at Hornoads. Now, the constructor of the series of puzzles, B.PEN, essentially has made a number of puzzles that are based on the video game Metroid. Now, personally, I haven't played them, but clearly they must be quite the series because B.PEN I think, is up to puzzle number 6 or 7 at this point. And, one of the things that he mentioned to me is in the video game, there's a lot of play with temperature, like hot and cold. So constantly, he tends to use essentially these thermometers to try and recreate these phenomenal characters from that video game. Now, he did supply me the image for this, but just more out of, I'm going to say, fear of copyright strikes from a company that's known to go after its own copyrights quite aggressively. I've chosen to create my own artwork. It is looking far more fearsome in this thumbnail than it does actually in the video game. So let's take a look at the puzzle and you'll see essentially what I'm describing here. So we've got a Hornoad, essentially, think of it as a mutant frog is the best way I would describe it. And you can just about see it here, essentially like the eyes of the frog, kind of a small part of its tail, its legs here, ready to jump, and then kind of fairly large jaws at the bottom. And I guess they tend to become fearsome because they've got some sort of infection, a parasite that turns them into an aggressive monster, but I don't think anything quite as serious as the one that I've drawn out there. Well, fairly straightforward set of rules. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply, so that means the digits 1 to 9 in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. We also have digits separated by an x summed to 10, although not all x's are given. So if we take a pair here that have an x between them, essentially these two cells must sum up to 10. So if that happens to be a 2, this will have to be an 8, for example, to make sure that these two in this domino sum up to 10. Now, I did mention that obviously we've got normal thermometer rules. That's kind of the recurring theme in this puzzle series. And you can essentially see a bunch of thermometers are also the outlines of this frog. So the way to think about these thermos is they're essentially just like thermometers. So this is a bulb end. This will be the lowest temperature, as in the lowest digit. And then as you go further away from the bulb end, the digits must increase. For example, this could be a 2. This would have to be 3 or higher. Let's say 3. If this was a 6, for example, then this would have to be between these two digits, a 4 or 5, to make sure that this doesn't break this rule. And B.PEN signs off by saying, observe this unimportant creature that jump up and down. I'm guessing it's a quote from the video game or similar. Well, link will be in the description down below if you're up for exploring this new world of Metroid, seeing what these Hornoads are all about. I'm going to warn you, I think B.PEN ambitiously goes for relatively approachable puzzles, but my experience from the previous one that we featured from him is that they tend to be a little bit harder than intended, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is slightly trickier, but that's okay. It is a weekend, it's a Sunday. We've all got time to get stuck into a lovely Sudoku as we've got here in this beautiful diagram. Now, with all of that said, let me restart the clock and see how I get on. So I'm looking at all of these thermos, and in particular, I'm tempted with the ones that have X's, such as this one, that has plenty of X's, because it tells me it's not a 5. It tells me, I say it's not a 5, because if it's got an X, I can't do this. I can't put a 5 in one cell, because it would mean another 5 in the other cell. So I think I'm really going to sort of focus on this cluster of thermometers because they're all sort of interconnected somehow with these X's. So let's imagine this is the lowest digit this can be is a 2, 3, 4. This can't be a 5. Obviously, I did just say it would require 2 5s breaking Sudoku rules. So at a minimum, this is a 6, and then this is a 7. And I think this is already quite helpful because I know that these have to be low and these have to be high. So don't be surprised if I use these colors often throughout this puzzle. The reason I'm sort of saying that is obviously with the 10, as I said, it can't be 2 5s. or 5s, not 4s. But what it is essentially is 1, 2, 3, or 4, a low digit, with a high digit, 6, 7, 8, or 9. And what that should allow you to do is to essentially identify, given obviously we've got these thermometers, where the low digits and high digits are in these X's. And I think that's going to be the way for us to get cracking with this puzzle. I'm actually even looking at this too and thinking there's no way that's an 8. So I'm actually tempted to go from this end now. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now you can see, because this is a maximum of 8, 9, 7, 8, 5, 6, I'm fairly sure I've just spotted the break-in, and then 3, 4 here. This has to be low. Can't go any higher than 4. It's 4, 5, 6, 7. Why can't it go any higher than 4? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 8. Why can't this be higher? This could be 7 for sure. This could be 6. Of course, this can't be a 5 if this is a 6. So that's the right way of looking at it now. Which tells me this has to be high. So the minimum this can be is actually now a 6. And I think it is, in fact, exactly 6, because we've still got 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's our first digit at just under 3 minutes. But it's not just a digit, it's a whole bunch of them. You've got 4 in here for sure. Notice this can't be a 6 anymore, and it has to be... Sorry, excuse me. That's a 4 I was going to say. This can't be a 6 anymore, so this can be a 5. And in fact, it has to be. That's not 4 or 5. If that's a minimum of 6, that's a minimum of 7, and that's a minimum of 8. And we're off to a cracking start. That's 2, 3. That's 1, 2, essentially to make sure that they add up to 10. I may continue coloring for a bit, because that's clearly proving to be quite helpful. Now, this can be, it can't be a 4, it's clearly repeated in the cell, in the box. But this can be a 5, which means this could be 3 or 4, but still, most critically, another low digit, and this is another high digit. Yeah, can't have a 9, but I can have basically anything else. So this is 8, 7, or 6, and that all looks appropriate. I am going to take a look at this box in a second, but I'm now thinking about this thermo, because again, of these X's that really help. So minimum this can be is in fact a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6. So this is actually, no, it's not. Because you can see if this is a 6, that would require a 4 in here, and that would break this. So this minimal line is not possible. The minimum here is a 7. Even that might not be possible. It would be if because I'm looking at this and it would say 7 would require a 3, and then that would duplicate the 3 again. Can this be a 7? Maybe if I made this 6, it would still be a 4 here. Even if I use that 1 degree of freedom that I have, because you can see I can't put a 5 in here. I need more degrees of freedom. So I'm actually tempted to say the minimum now this can be is 8 or 9. And this is 1 or 2. That's very hard to spot, I think. And I'm not entirely sure I'm correct. Yeah, surely if I did 2, 3, 4, again, this can't be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I don't think I can put a 7 in here. Because I'm going to base a lot on this. I am going to just delete this one more time and just see what that means. 7, 3. This is still 4. And therefore this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, definitely 7 is not possible on here. That's 8 or 9. Now, presumably, I can take this further. I can go up to 7, I'm going to say. 8. And therefore, this is either 4, 6, or 3. So I don't actually know which one is the low digit or high digit here. And if this is 3, 4, in fact, it has to be higher. Does it have to be higher? No, I've only got 3 in the column. So there's nothing wrong with this being a low digit. Although quite possibly it is higher. It could be 5 or even 6. And this could be 3 or 4, excuse me, 2, 3 or 4, or not actually 5. Take a look at 5 in box 6. 5 has to be in here, making this the maximum this can be, and therefore the maximum this can be is a 3. Right. So that looks like the correct setup. If I think about 8 for a second, it just feels so restricted. Feels very tight. It's just all I'm thinking. It's just very tight. 8 will be 2. Therefore, this is 3, 4, 6, 7. And yeah, that's, hang on. If that's 8, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 6, that's 7. But 4 and 6, I need to put another. It'll be 6 and 4, and I just said this is 4. So I'm not even sure 8 works. Can I not make 8 work? 8, 8, 7. If that's 4, that's 3, that's 2, and that's broken. So this can't be 4. This has to be a high digit if it's 8. And if it's 6, and this is 8, this has to be 7. Yes, of course, I can always make that 5, and then this 6 could be joined with a 4. And then, yeah, I can choose from 3 or 4 at this point. So 8 is possible. Okay. Sorry for the distraction. I was just genuinely curious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This has to be a high digit. Don't know what high digit it is, but it is definitely a high digit. 6, 7, 8. In fact, this was not even a 4. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. This is 7, 8, or 9. We've got a 7, 8, 9 triplets. Now, if you look at box 8, we need another low digit and high digit pair. I've already used the 7, 8, and 9. The only one that's now available is 4, 6. And this 4 tells us the order. 4, 6. And essentially, we're going to have in here a 5 joined with whatever low digit which would make up this as a 10. Yep. Right, let's see how we can push this further. So this could be 6 or 7. This can't be, wow, can't be 4, can't be 5, can't be 6, can't be higher. This is fixed. This is 3, 2, 1. This is in fact 2, 8. And if I remember correctly, if I make that a 4, this would be 3, this would be 2, breaking the puzzle. This is not 4, this is 6 or 7. In fact, can't be 7 because we need to leave a digit in here. That's a 6, that's a 4. Beautiful logic, B.PEN. That's phenomenal. Not a 6, not a 4 either because we've got it in the box. Not a 2. And that's still 1, 2, or 3. Beautiful. In fact, what did I just do here? I removed the 3, yeah. So not a 4, excuse me. And not a 2. And you can see immediately that can't be a 3 because that can't be a 2. That's a 5. And then 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3. Lovely. You know, sometimes I do go off, if I'm honest, the deep end a bit, where I'm not sure what I'm doing is necessarily the fastest route, but I'm just savoring the puzzle. It's just phenomenal to play this interplay that's happening between all of these thermometers and these X's. You got to have fun, enjoy yourself. So yeah, this is a minimum of 5, therefore this is also a high digit. This can't be 4, 6 clearly. Can't be 3, 7. So this is 1, 2, sorry, 1, 9 or 2, 8. So it could be 1, 9 or 2, 8. Highly likely that it is 2, 8, because if you take a look at these 2s, it's telling us there is definitely a 2 on this left-hand column in box 7. Where else can we take this logic next? I mean, I'm looking at this box here. And, we've got the same thing with 3 X's. So we've got essentially another X pair, but unfortunately, because not all X's are given, the X pair can be here. But actually, even there you go, that's a 5 looking in here. That's another 5 for sure. And essentially, there's another 10 split between these two cells. It might be here, it might be there. Now, what is that 10? This is clearly almost certainly a high digit. We've got 1, 2, this can't be 3, it could be 4. This can be 5. This is at least a 6, but it's not 6, 7, 8. This is 9. This is 1, 5. Because we've got the other 2 essentially paired up in here. We've got a 3 and a 4. The 4, we know where it is. We've got this 4 here giving it to us for free. That's a 4. That's a 6. That's a 3, 7. That's not a 7. So let's fill in the rest of this thermo and just see if we can actually basically finish the puzzle from here. What do we have in here? It's 1, 3, and 4. And this is not 1 or 4 in this cell. This is the 3. This is the 4. That's the 1. That's not a 1. But I got distracted there. Let me just take a look at what's happening here. So this could be a 6. Can't be a 7. We've got a 3, 7 pair. Could be an 8. This can't be a 5. We've got a 1, 5 pair. It can be a 6. It can't be any higher. We've got 7 and 8 looking at it. And obviously it can't be any higher than that. This, I guess, can be a 3, not a 4. It could be a 5. And obviously, again, not higher. This can't be 2. This could be 3. It can't be 4. And it can't be higher because of the 5 that's up here. I think this is one of your best constructions, B.PEN. Although, admittedly, I've only looked at 2 others so far. I'm just loving how this all playing together. So let's just see if we can finish this and give it the right send off. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking there is a 2 in here. See, this 2 is removing the option of 2 there. We can't have placed a 2 here anyway. So there is a 2 there. Excuse me. Corners. And then I guess there is a 2 in here as well. Not very useful, but interesting. Can I basically start to finish this from here? I think I'm sure. Yeah, this 9, this is not a 9-1. That's not a 9, that's not a 1. That's a 2-8 pair. Can essentially remove these corner pencil marks. Therefore, this is not an 8. I mean, we've known that for a while because of this 8. That's not 1, that's not 1, that is the 1. Just looking at these ones, eliminating these 2 options. What else is left? We need a 9 in here. So it's 5, 6, and 7, and a 9. And I don't know where the 9 is, and I'm not going to pencil mark all the rest. So that's all you're getting right now. We know that there is a 3, a 5, and a 7. Let's pencil mark these in. That's not a 7. Got sort of the same weird kind of 9s going on here. Except this time we actually know where the 9s are. That's not the 9. That is the 9. That's the other 9. That's 5, 6, 7. Excuse me. That's 5, 6, or 7, except we've got a 3, 7 looking at it. So that is 5, 6. That's an 8, therefore. This is now a 4, 6 pair, because it can't be a 7, because we've already got 3, 5, 7 in here. So that's 4, 6, forcing this to be a 7. This is now 8 or 9. Well, we already, again, knew that because we've got the 7 up here. I really should use some of these Sudokus, but 8, 9 pair, that's a 7, that's a 6, that's a 3. So this is 1, 2, or 5. We've got these 1s, saying the 1 is in here, that's the 2, that's the 8, and that's the 5. The 5, not the 6. That's the 6, that's the 5. We've kind of pretty much finishing it up here. That's a 2. That can't be a 3 anymore, can it? It's 2, 3. This has to be higher. That's the 5. And we know that there is a 1 in here, joined with either a 2 or a 3. I can't tell which is which just yet. 9, 9. We've got another 9 in here, and a 7 to finish this row. We need a 2, 8 with a 3. And this 3 tells us the order, that's the 3. This 8 tells us that's the 2, that's the 8, that's the 2. I need a 7, no, I already have a 7, an 8, and a 4. Which, yeah, I can disambiguate. We've got a 4 up there, that's the 4, that's the 8. This 3 tells us that's a 2. This is now a 1, 3 pair. We don't know what they are just yet, but we've got a 1, 3 pair in here. That's not a 3. Got 5s. Moving a 5 from there. Anything else? This 3 gives us this 4, this 6. This is still 2 or 3, unfortunately. We probably can solve this X, but let me just 2, 3 pair in here. That's got to be the 1, 3, the 1. I'm just going to tidy up this mess I've created here. This is definitely the 8. This is 5 or 7. We've got a 5 down here telling us what it is. That's the 7. That's the 5. I mean, it's still... I mean, obviously it's a little bit easier at this point, but the puzzle is still, like, fighting you every step of the way. I don't know if that's meant to be the behavior of Hornoads, but seems to be the behavior of this puzzle for sure. What do we have in here? A 5, which can only be in there, and a 9 to finish box 5. So that, I'm happy with that. That's that mess sorted. We've got a 2, an 8, and I'm going to say a 3, 7, 3. We need a 1 in here with a 9, unresolved. We need an 8 and a 9, I'm going to say. That 8 tells us that's the 8, that's the 2, that's the 9 therefore, and this is the 7. 9 gives us the 1, the 9, the 5, the 1, and we're pretty much done in here. We've got 6 and 5, that's the 5, and if I've not made any mistakes, that's the 6, and that's the solution to today's puzzle. What a puzzle. What a puzzle. That's beautiful, B.PEN. Thank you so much for creating it and sending it. You know, I'm assuming kind of solve counter 1 is probably you testing it, so I'm almost honored that I'm the second solver for this. Let me just, yeah. I hope that you guys have enjoyed today's puzzle. I mean, I clearly have. And today's video, and, you know, let B.PEN know in the comments. He regularly watches this channel how he thought his puzzle has fared. And let's give him a bit of encouragement. Let's see the rest of this Metroid series, and I'll make sure to feature a few more of them. Thank you very much for the puzzle, B.PEN. Thank you for watching the video, and see you back for the next one. Bye for now.